Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's time. We're so back. It's been a very slow week, F1 fantasy wise. I'm sorry that I just shouted into the mic at like peak volume, but at least I woke you up. You're ready to go. We have some F1 fantasy decisions to make, and I mean, we actually have some decisions and some options to go for. It feels like we just can't have a simple, normal. I mean, not even normal, just a boring weekend. Get Hulkenberg in, don't do anything else. Now, FP3 has to come around and mess everything up. And I think Nixie FN and a lot of people in chat have already picked up on it. And the question mark is Piastri. And we're actually going to go back and look at some data. We all love data here. To see whether we should get rid of Piastri or not, right? Because Piastri did not really look on it. Turn off the music. I'm very sorry, the music is very loud. I will keep the music on, but I will lower it. Thank you, Modest Cowboy. I forgot to change it. But yeah, it's been one of those weeks. Yeah, sorry, it was very loud. I had it on a louder setting than usual to start the stream. Alright. Piastri of different parts than Lando? Yup. Good vibes. Yeah, it is good vibes to start on, but we'll keep it a tad bit lower to not overshadow everything that I say. Right, so this is my team. This is where we left off. I mean, the simple move is just Colapinto or Bortoleto. Okay, my main thing this entire stream. What did you eat for fika today? I had a Karlsbader bulle. Very nice. It was very good. The easy thing and my main question for like this stream was supposed to be, do I sell Bortoleto or do I sell Colapinto? Right? That, like, which South American rookie am I selling for Nico Hulkenberg? That was the question that I was going to pose for this weekend. But yes, Celtic, I do have that up in a tiny little window. I need to get a third screen so badly. Like, I've been rocking 2 screens for like 7 years now and never needed it. And then just this past year with streams, like, I want to have a screen here that I can look at chat, like just have chat open, because I have to like click open tabs to be able to have like the broadcasts showing here. I really need a third screen, man. I just don't really know what to do with. My computer doesn't have that's a question for a different day, but yeah. I do have a little tiny window here where I'm watching it. Anyway, the main question I was going to pose for this entire stream, essentially, was supposed to be, do I sell Bortoleto or do I sell Colapinto? But now we have some more questions to go for. And what Nixie FN said, he was the first in chat to say it before the stream even started, and I've seen a bunch of you already talk about it, is that if you have the funds to get both Hulkenberg and Norris, I think it's a kind of a no-brainer. Chris C coming in with the clutch. Everyone like and subscribe. Yes, please do. We did hit 3K subscribers last weekend, which is pretty cool, but I would love to get to 5. I have a little unofficial goal or slash target for the end of the year to try and reach 5K, so that's the goal. That's the goal. But yeah, the problem with my team is that I cannot afford that with Ferrari, right? I have enough to go to Lando in the bank, but I only have 1.3 million, which means I can't get Hulkenberg in here. So I'm missing 0.8 million to have this team, and I think if you can afford this team, I think it's a no-brainer to go for it, personally. I really think it by far the best option this week. Norris looks on it, McLaren is always good, right? And you get Nico Hulkenberg in there. It's just like, do I want to go for Norris, who, if he doesn't win, he's not likely to increase 0.3 million. Like, he needs to win the race. He needs 39 points, I believe, to increase 0.3 million in price. Do I go for Norris and then just leave a free 0.6 million on the bench? It's difficult. It's difficult. All right. Going limitless on your backup team, that's very, very interesting. I haven't seen anyone really go for the limitless this week, but I suppose, I mean, especially if you had Hulkenberg from last week, it does look good, yeah. Switch Piastri for Leclerc? I don't know if I'm that hard on Ferrari, guys. Like, I think it's enough to just have the Ferrari assets. It would be a different thing if I was running, like, if I had like the V-carb version where I had like McLaren, V-carb, Norris plus something else, like if this was my team here, let's just say it's something like I could see myself running this, I suppose, to get McLaren, but I don't think I would do, especially when you already have the Ferrari asset there. I don't think you need to double up on Ferrari necessarily. Alonso worth bringing for Bortoleto Colapinto? Not this week, I don't think, Joshua, because I think both Colapinto and Bortoleto could both increase in price this week. Alonso can't, meaning that next weekend, Colapinto or Bortoleto to Alonso is a super free transfer, which you gain budget from. Are we really in a spot to bench Piastri? Not necessarily. I don't think you have to. It's just like points wise. Okay, we're actually gonna go to that immediately because there's something we have to discuss, right? So let's Piastri hit the wall in FP3. Did not look particularly fast, and let's actually go to let's see, results. Is it here? 2025 season. I don't want to see Canada. I want to see all races. Where is that on this site? Oh, full schedule. Here we go. Yeah. This is what I wanted to show you. Okay. So, oh, not 2025. Oh no, we are in 2025. Yeah. Alright. Okay, testing. Yeah. So here, we're gonna go through the season. I want you guys to see if you can spot a pattern, okay? Alright. Tell me if you see, tell me when you notice the pattern. I want everyone to switch their sort of pattern recognition software on somewhere in the back of your brain. All of you've got that. Here we go. Practice. Let's see. I think it's practice 3, yeah. So we have practice 3, and then the race, right? Nothing yet. But you're gonna see it very soon. You're gonna see it very soon. We have practice, race, right? We continue. We're gonna see something very soon. All right, just stay with me here. Practice. Oh, we're still in China. Oh, that's the same one. Sorry, that's the same one. Ignore that. Practice 3. And the winner, right? All right. It keeps going. Practice 3. Here we go. So first three races of the season, leader of practice 3 did not win the race. Then Oscar Piastri in Bahrain wins the race fastest in practice. Saudi Arabia. Here's Lando fastest. But I do think this was FP2 that I looked at before. Okay, Lando. And Oscar wins. And then we go to Miami. We have once again... Oh, that's sprint, sorry. Oscar Piastri fastest. Oscar Piastri wins. So the pattern here is that McLaren are always like Norris is super fast in practice, and then Piastri ends up winning anyway. Even here, Norris doesn't win, right? Here we had Charles Leclerc. Sorry, practice 3 was Charles Leclerc, and Spain. Oscar Piastri was fastest here. So I have the pattern is that Lando is usually quite fast in practice. Doesn't necessarily translate to wins. But I will say that in all of these practice sessions where Oscar Piastri has won the race, right? Not the sprint. Every time Oscar wins, he's at least been top 2. He won in Bahrain. Practice, Oscar Piastri, Lando, right? So Oscar is always top 2 in practice when he's won a race. Every time. And then we go to Canada. And we check the results of practice 3. And if we go to the race where, like, Oscar did not win, hang with me here. 2025 season. No. .25 season. So, Oscar did not win in Monaco, right? Oscar Piastri was like 4th. So, I do think there is something to the fact that, like, the only one beating Oscar in practice time is Lando when Oscar's winning a race. And the races where Oscar's not winning, unless, like, this just disproves me. Okay, this, you know. But then, Max popped up with a blinder here. So, I think there could be something to the fact that Oscar might not be on it this week. And, I mean, Lando's always in the conversation. That's the thing with Lando. I don't think it's a Piastri weekend, but as long as he gets a podium, I'd be happy. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if Piastri gets P3, like, you're still getting a decent amount of points on him. And Lando does need to actually win the race to increase the maximum. Australia free practice, I don't think it's super indicative. Like, Oscar Piastri was fastest, but he did spin out, like, in a rainy race, and then clawed it back. So I don't think it's indicative of any of that data. But I mainly think, like, Monaco is a really good showing for it. And Imola as well. That Oscar wasn't fastest. Like, one of the top 2 fastest. But then again, Oscar's just won most of the races anyway. And, like, in all the races that he has won, he has been top 2 in qualifying. Like, in practice. Like, China, Bahrain, Saudi, Miami, and Spain. All of Oscar's wins this season, he's been top 2 in practice. Now, do I think this is, like, realistically going to beat anything in the long run? Probably not. Maybe it just means that Oscar is, like, not super comfortable on this track or whatever. Maybe it's something with the different parts that he has compared to Lando. But I think it's a really good differential option to go for Norris this week. 10% of likes, pathetic you guys. Getting great content for free. Yeah, the least you can do if you're watching this for free is to like the stream. Thank you very much. Alright. Can you afford Norris and 4.5 to Hulk? No, I cannot. That's the thing. I don't know. I'm missing 0.8 million to do, like, the God move. And I think if you have the money to go for this, I think all of you should go for this. But I'm not taking a -10 to get Norris in over Piastri. So it's really unfortunate for my team, at least, right? Personally, that I can't go for the God team, right? Which is why I'm, like, back to I should just get Hulkenberg in and call it a day. Opinion on Williams' pace? Williams, I mean, they definitely look better than Spain, but they did also specify that Spain was bad for them. So I wouldn't be surprised if Carlos Sainz or Alex Albon pop up with, like, a P6, P7, you know? Maybe wait and final fix. Maybe, but then, like, if I make the Hulkenberg move, I can't afford to final fix Piastri to Norris anyway. And, like, if Norris puts it on pole and Piastri puts it P2 or P3, I don't think it's worth final fixing. Not worth doing Lawson to Hull instead, so you can still bring in Norris. I don't know. I really like still having Lawson in there, but I can see the points. But, like, Lawson's just 4 points away from getting the jump. Is it supposed to rain? I have not seen anything yet. There's been, like, some in the air, but I don't think it's gonna rain. No. I would be surprised if it rained. Yeah, I've also seen, like, a 5%, but yeah, no rain looks the most likely. Did you fix your fuel on F1 Manager? I did not. But if you want to watch me play some F1 Manager, we probably will sometime next week. Rain on Monday, yeah. What's Alonso's points for price rise? 15. whereas Colapinto and Bortoleto have 2 and 6. Seriously considering final fixing Piastri to Leclerc if qualifying results end up looking similar to FP3 thoughts? I think that's also valid. Like, if it, especially if Leclerc puts it on pole, right? Say you have Piastri, Leclerc puts it on pole, and Piastri's like P7. I mean, that looks like a really good final fix to me. Is it worth anyone besides Hulk to get in? I think there's a lot of assets worth buying this week. It's just that Hulkenberg is one of the best ones that people don't own, right? I think if you don't have Hadjar and you don't have Hulk, I think Hadjar is more important to buy than Hulkenberg because Hadjar has shown the longevity that Hulkenberg hasn't yet. I think I would buy Hadjar over Hulk, guaranteed, if you don't. But the thing is, like, a lot of people already have Hadjar, and I don't think too many people have Hulk. Was the consensus, are we jumping on the Norris train? I think if you can jump on the Norris train while still going with the meta build of going for Hulkenberg, I think you should. Like, I can't afford it. That's the thing. I cannot afford it. Again, this is my team. If I go to Lando Norris here, I cannot afford to upgrade Colapinto or Bortoleto. I could do Lawson to Hulkenberg. So I guess that's an option and just keep Colapinto and Bortoleto. But we'll see. Do we know when FP3 Sims will come out? No, but they should. I think Reither specified that it will. Do you consider Mercedes? No, I'm not considering Mercedes just because of budget reasons. We're running Ferrari. I don't see anyone I can switch Ferrari to realistically at this point with 2 transfers. Now, I will say I don't think triple McLaren plus V-carb is bad this week. You could do this plus like, well, I can't do this, but you know, if you have the money to go for this plus, I don't know. Maybe it's a Kick Sauber team. But if you have the money and the transfers to go to something like, I don't know, this, I think this, I mean, I think this team looks really strong. But then again, if you have your wild card, maybe, you know, get a bit frisky with the Kick Sauber constructor. Opinion on Mercedes still on sell Merc? I don't think necessarily this week is the week to sell Merc. If you have kept Merc throughout the last 2 races, like, you missed the ball. I mean, you took the hits when you took them. And Mercedes at least looked decent for points this week, so maybe you can recoup some of them if Russell can put it on the podium again. Was the best 4.5 asset at the moment, in your opinion? I think it's very close. We still have to see what Bortoleto does with the parts that Hulkenberg now had last race. Because actually, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Bortoleto does have the new Sauber parts, right? Last week it was, or in Spain, it was only Hulkenberg who had them. But I'm pretty sure both Hulkenberg and Bortoleto have them now. So if Bortoleto was slightly better for budget, I would say Bortoleto over Colapinto. But I do think you have to put Colapinto above just because of the 2-pointer here. I think both of them. Bortoleto had a new part from Saturday in Spain. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, thank you for the correction. Yeah. Okay, well, it makes sense that maybe he wasn't familiar with them. Whatever. I just read that they didn't have them in that he didn't have them in Spain, but it must have been before. I must have missed that he also got the upgraded parts then. I do think Alonso from next week will be the best 4.5 million option. I think that will answer your question, Maymetis. Like, from next week. Or not next week, but like from next race weekend, Alonso will be the best 4.5 million option. Maybe the only 4.5 million option. Let me give a quick shout out to the people over on the Twitch stream. MJ Gnome said, good evening. Rafa said, hello. Piastri or Norris? I think it's very close. We've been discussing that this entire time. Your playlist dealer asked Limitless, question mark. I think Limitless is really good, especially if you had Hulkenberg last week. I think Limitless could be good. But granted, I did not have Hulkenberg in any of my teams last week, so that's not for me. If you want to join on the Twitch side and have a bit more of a calm chat, you can join down in the description below. On my Twitch channel is where I stream some random gaming stuff in between, usually on Thursdays. So you should definitely follow over there and check that out. We're playing some F1 Manager right now. Dvala says Merc was so good, but in race day it's +5, +7 temperature, so their pace is gonna lower 100%. I'm not expecting a 32-pointer from Hulkenberg after buying him. Let me get that straight, or let me just put that straight, right? I'm only buying Hulkenberg for the price gains. Bortoleto and Colapinto to Hulk and Alonso. I wouldn't buy Alonso this week. I would keep Bortoleto or Colapinto. I would definitely just do one of them to Hulkenberg. If I'm keeping Piastri here, I'm doing either Colapinto or Bortoleto. Probably Bortoleto to Hulkenberg and keeping Colapinto, because the Colapinto, Bortoleto are super likely to increase in price, at least Colapinto, right? As long as he keeps it on track. And if that happens, I could just get Alonso next week. There's literally no reason to transfer There's no reason to transfer Colapinto or Bortoleto out to Alonso this week. You can just do it next week and make some money on it. I feel like there will be multiple DNFs. I'm very tempted to no negative thoughts. I am always going to be on the no negative should be used in a sprint weekend train, always, and I will stand by that. So I think no. Would you waste the transfer on getting Sainz out or keep him? I think it's really unfortunate because Sainz does look good points wise, but like, does he look 14 points good? You know, what if you have Alonso already? If you have Alonso already, there's no reason to switch. You might as well keep him, in my opinion, right? If you're already on Alonso, like, don't waste a transfer. I just wouldn't buy him this week. Alonso will get quite a few more points than Bortoleto Colapinto, though. Perhaps. We don't know that. I think it could be close. But, I mean, I'm definitely getting Alonso from next week. Piastri out? No, Piastri's gonna race for sure. What would be your limitless team this week? It would be... That's a really good question, actually. I mean, triple McLaren always, Verstappen always. I think I would do... Would you do Mercedes or Ferrari? I think you would still do Ferrari, huh? McLaren, Ferrari, double McLaren drivers, Verstappen, probably Leclerc, Russell. I think that's what I think I would want to have Russell on oh, Piastri out of F1 Fantasy teams, poor in FP3. Yeah, I'm still considering it. So granted, actually let's just do some MS Paint, because I know how much you guys love MS Paint. Do you think many people will use the wildcard next week? I don't know. I've already used wildcard. I think a lot of people have used theirs already. I don't think like next week is a particularly good week to wildcard or anything. I think wildcard is good when it's good, right? When it's good for your specific team. All right, MS Paint. Is Mercedes worth it? Points-wise, maybe. Budget-wise, definitely not. Let me just remind you guys that Mercedes needs to score 55 points to increase in price. So I just chill. MS Paint. Right, so for my team, we have some options. I also forgot to do F1 Predict. We'll do that in a second. I could either do Piastri out. Let's see. For Norris. But then I would have to do, if I want to get Hulkenberg, I would then have to do Lawson out for Hulkenberg. Right? That's option one. The other option then is to just do Bortoleto to Hulkenberg. What am I doing? I mean, we should probably do Hülkenberg, but yeah. So, option one, option two. I guess there's also technically an option three, which is just Piastri out for Norris and keep Lawson. Why Lawson to Hulk? Lawson will also go up 0.6 and score more points. I don't know. That's why there's a third option. Because I want, like, the question here is how much do I want to get Hulkenberg in? You know? So, because, I mean, the dream would be, And again, if you have the budget, I think you just go for this, because like a lot of people have Piastri, so if you can get Norris in, that's going to be really, really powerful compared to other teams. So if you can get Norris and then just do... let me actually get Colapinto back in here. If you have enough money to go for this, I'm 0.8 million short. Go for it. Like, literally, what are you waiting for? You'll be taking another riser for another riser, just 3 then? That's the thing. Do I ignore Hulkenberg and just go for this? Or do we just stick with Piastri, who's, you know, might just get P3, you know, and then just get, you know, go fully for the 0.6 risers? So Piastri for Leclerc. Since I have Ferrari in here, I'm probably not gonna go for Leclerc. The only way I would go for Leclerc is if I keep Piastri and, like, Piastri puts it P6 in qualifying and Leclerc's on pole. Would you take a -10 to move Colapinto for Alonso? Definitely not. I almost never take hits to just switch cheap assets around. That's almost never worth it. I'm not tempted to buy Mercedes this week. They have to get rid of their bad weekends in the budget calculator before I consider buying them again. They're gonna drop in price this week unless they go absolutely nuclear, and I don't see that happening. Is it worth a -10 to go from Norris, Hulk, Lawson, Colapinto, Hadjar, Ferrari, McLaren? Norris, Hulk, Lawson, Colapinto. So you have Hulk, Lawson, Hadjar, Colapinto, Ferrari, McLaren. Okay, basically the team that I had, but you would have to take a -10 for it. I don't think so. Maybe. What about Norris and Piastri, kick Sauber? I think that team looks strong. It's just I'm not gonna go for it because I would need to do multiple transfers, right? Actually, could I go for that now? I guess I could do this, but then, you know, I would want to get this in here. Like, this is the reason why Kick Sauber is strong is because you can have all 3 of the guaranteed risers. Like, if you have 3 free transfers this week and you can go for this, I don't think this looks that bad. And if you have both of these, you definitely put the 2x on Norris, by the way. But again, this is a -10 hits. I'm probably not doing this. I just think this is a good option. If I was wildcarding this week, I would probably go for something like this. I'm not even gonna lie. This looks fun. All right. Let's quickly do F1 predict. Alright, so, if you haven't been with me on F1 Predict, I still haven't joined the league, but that's okay. I got 7 and 9 points last time in Spain. Tragic showing. Let's see if I can do better. Also, shout out to the 476 viewers in chat. We have 133 likes, which means that there are currently, maths is difficult, 340-ish people that have not liked the stream that are watching right now. If you're one of those people, make sure to like the stream. You're watching this for free, nothing paid. A little like right there below. Perfect. That's all I need. I'm not gonna ask for anything more. If you want to subscribe, you can do so, and then, like, in a week, if you get annoyed seeing anything that I post in your subscription feed, you can unsubscribe, right? That's the great thing about YouTube. You can click subscribe now and then unsubscribe later if you don't want to. I'm just asking that you right now click subscribe. That also means you can chat in the chat, and I know you want to chat in the chat, right? So make sure you subscribe. We're trying to hit 5K subscribers before the end of the year. So if you haven't clicked subscribe, do so now. And again, 176 likes now. We can definitely get that to 200. Again, there's like 470 of you in here. So make sure to go do that. Let's predict the Canadian Grand Prix. I'm going to predict Lando to win. I'm going to predict Leclerc on the podium. And I'm still going to predict Piastri to be there because, I mean, how could you not? Q2, who will take pole? I'm going to put Lando. Who will qualify the highest for the Grand Prix? I'm going to put Nico. Actually, 15 points for Bortoleto. Nah, I'm gonna put Nico. I think Nico's got it. Will Aston Martin get 2 cars into Q2? No. I don't think Lance Stroll will get out of Q1. Who will set the fastest pit stop? There's only one selection here. Who will set the fastest lap time of the race? This is always just a pure guess. I'm gonna guess Lando Norris. Who will finish the race ahead? Hadjar or Ocon? 2 French drivers, Esteban Ocon and Hadjar, find themselves 9th and 10th in the championship, separated by just 1 point. I think Hadjar will finish ahead. The V-carb looks rapid. Hadjar looks rapid. Will there be a safety car? I think yes. How many classified finishers? I'm gonna say 17. 3 DNFs. Who will be ahead in team standings after the race? I'm gonna put Ferrari. Boom. Back to home. That's F1 Predict for you right there. Let's go back to F1 Fantasy. As always, top of the hour, we'll do team submissions. Now, granted, this weekend, I think a lot of team submissions are going to look very, very similar. And I've pretty much already discussed like most of the different teams here. So, but we'll see how it goes. How's chat looking? Aiming for 50% likes? Yeah, I mean, 50% and I'll be happy. Still 185, guys. 420 people in chat. Make sure to like the stream. Daniel Saladin says, already liked and subscribed. Good stream. Greetings from Costa Rica. Thank you so much, Daniel. Shout out to Costa Rica. That's awesome. Should I get Hulk or Sainz? I think you should get Hulk this week. I think Sainz looks really good, but I would wait a week. Hulk just looks so good. Lawson to Hulk to, or keep the extra transfer for the next race. I think that's a closer one, actually. If you're in the position where you don't have the budget to go from a 4.5 up to Hulkenberg, I think I would probably just keep the extra transfer for the next race, if I'm honest. I don't think Lawson looks that bad. From South Africa, thank you so much, Kobus. I love seeing where people are from, man. That's so cool. Thoughts on Le Mans? We'll discuss it later. I will say the who was it that went down? I've just seen the clip like 1,000 times now. Who went down and kicked the other guy's car? That was so funny. Cheers for Brazil. Wait, who was that? That was so funny. Imagine that happened in F1. Just went out and just kicked the other guy's car. Alonso out for Hulkenberg. I think that's decent. Yeah. Any of the 4.5 million assets, I would sell to Hulkenberg if you can. Is what minus 10 points to switch Piastri with 2x to Norris, 2x Albon to Alonso, and Williams to Racing Bulls. If you're doing Albon to Alonso, I would rather do another 4.5. But like, I don't think that's worth a minus 10. With that team, just keep Piastri and just switch Williams to Racing Bulls, if I'm honest. What happened that's making everyone want to switch out Piastri? He has not looked great in practice so far this weekend. He hit the wall in FP3. And the last 2 times that Piastri was not top 2 in practice, he did not end up winning or even like looking close to winning the race. Both in Monaco and in Imola. He wasn't really like in the conversation, right? Yeah, I've watched some of them on, but not all of it. I've had it like on the background, on the radio in my car. I've been working for like 9 hours today. Would you sell Alonso to Colapinto for Hulkenberg? Yes, I would sell Alonso or Colapinto for Hulkenberg. Probably Alonso and then buy Alonso back next week. Would you take out Bortoleto or Colapinto? That's the question. Like, I don't know. I think it's probably Bortoleto, but it's close. Live from Venezuela, Bortoleto, out Bortoleto in Sainz or Lawson? I would buy Lawson this week. I think it's really boring, but there's just 5 like really clear cheap drivers to go for, and it's Hulkenberg, Hadjar, Lawson, Colapinto, and Bortoleto, and like in that order. And I think the drop off then to the next B tier is just so far, and Sainz would really have to have a blinder of a race to be worth it. Watching from Norway. My neighbor. My girlfriend's in Norway. She's well, she works there, so I do plan on visiting Norway pretty soon. Bortoleto or Colapinto? That is the question. Let's put some time into this. I think Bortoleto probably has more potential to gain positions if the Sauber car is as improved as Nico Hülkenberg showed last week, and if Bortoleto can, I'm not expecting him to put on a 32-pointer, but anything close to that, and it will be magical. I also think Colapinto is probably more crash prone than what Bortoleto is. Where in Norway? She is in. She works close to Molde, but I don't remember what it was called where she is this week. Or it's close to Molde at least. Ålesund maybe. Dringlid, welcome to the supporter tier. Thank you so much for the membership. Make sure to link your Discord to your YouTube account, because then when you join the Discord server, you will have access to the members only channel where you will get a guaranteed team rating. Yeah, Ålesund, yeah, they're celebrating Pride there, so she's there with some friends. So yeah, Ålesund is probably it. Yeah. I have Max, so I gotta make the switch anyway. Piastri plus Hulk plus Hadjar, or Norris plus only one of them. I mean, if you go Norris, it's definitely Norris plus Hadjar. Again, I think Hadjar is better than Hulkenberg, but it's close. Fantasy Grand Prix, Greece from Australia. Currently have Piastri, Behrman, Lawson, Hadjar, Hulkenberg, McLaren, and Ferrari. Who would you change Behrman to? Would have up to 8.1. You already have Hadjar, you already have Hulkenberg, you already have Lawson. I mean, honestly, since you can't go to the Sainz at 8.5, it's probably just one of the 4.5ers, and then you switch to Alonso next week. That seems like the no-brainer. Also, you're very rich. Lawson, Hadjar, Hulkenberg, Piastri, Behrman, McLaren, and Ferrari. That seems like a rich team. Or am I crazy? Maybe I'm crazy. Can I afford that? Oh no, yeah, that is probably my budget actually. Now that I think about it. Actually, I'm richer. Whoops, sorry. What team you to build for my budget? 119.7? Bro, you should be giving me tips. Let's actually show some F1 fantasy stuff here, like live scoring. So add a manual team. No. Oh, not live scoring. What am I doing? Team calculator. Here we go. This is the one. If you have my team 1, well, I mean, to use the best team this week, you need 106.9 million. So like everyone can fit that in, I suppose. Granted, this is post FP2. FP3 sims are not out yet. But 190 million is absolutely nuts. My budget is 114.4. 119.7? You're crazy. Like, what can you... It is funny that even with 119.7, the... Okay, actually, yeah, you know, for points wise, it's saying Mercedes plus Russell. Granted, Mercedes is not likely to increase in price. So what if we guarantee Ferrari in there? It's saying Antonelli. I don't like Antonelli as a pick because he's gonna drop in price. So let's remove Antonelli from the simulation. It's saying Albon plus Sainz. Do I really like them? Like, that's the thing. Like, with 190.7 million, you can build these teams. But, like, do you want Albon and Sainz? Maybe you want Sainz, I suppose, but... We just want the... We just want the budget guys, you know? Budget guys plus this. And, I mean, you can just build this team with 109 million. So... I don't think you, Robster, and other people who are that rich... This week is not the weekend where you're gonna get the bang for your buck, you know? Your team, or like your budget, is gonna be insane once Mercedes become meta again, which they might be as soon as they get rid of this very pesky results that they've had in in the past too. Like once that 9-pointer is gone, say they get a solid 30-pointer here and look, relatively likely to increase in the next race, and you can start running Russell plus Mercedes plus Piastri plus McLaren. Disgusting team. Are you planning to switch Piastri to Norris? I have not decided yet, actually. I have not decided. I'm still undecided. Alright, I need you guys' help. So, remember what we did last week? We spammed the chat, like absolutely destroyed the chat with which one you like the most. So, here is the layout, okay? Option 1, we sell Piastri to Norris and Lawson to Hulkenberg. Right? We get Hulkenberg in there, but we have to sell Lawson for it. I don't have the budget to sell any of the 4.5 million assets to Hulkenberg. Option 2 is that we keep Piastri and we just sell Bortoleto to Hulkenberg. Option 3 is we sell Piastri to Norris and we ignore Hulkenberg. Okay? So, spam the chat 1, 2, or 3. Go! Go. Also, I just realized that this entire time, my thing has been incorrect. Alright, spam the chat. Go. 1. I'm seeing a lot of 1s. A lot of 2s. Not a lot of 3s. Interesting. I thought 3 would be more popular. 2 and final fix for Norris if needed. I can't final fix Norris if I do 2. I don't have enough budget. Otherwise, I would do number 1, but do Bortoleto to Hulkenberg. I can't final fix Norris if I do Bortoleto to Hulkenberg. I don't have the budget. I'm missing 0.8 million. 2, 1. Not a lot of 3s. A lot of people really want me to buy Hulkenberg this week. I understand why. I do understand why. 2, 3. It's looking pretty even, I will say. Option 1 looks much better and smarter. Sad 1 misses on 3 free transfers. Yep. Very interesting. A lot of 1s. People really like the selling Lawson bit. I'm gonna just slam a pizza while you guys spam the chat. Alright. So. Let's enact that is what we do. We keep Colapinto and Bortoleto. We sell Lawson to Hulkenberg. Just for the guaranteed price increase. And then we do this. Can just afford it. This is if we expect Norris to win. Otarv says 2 final fix for Charles/Russell. Yes, we could do that. That is part of option 2 if Piastri underperforms. Why Ferrari and no Merc? Merc is likely to drop in price unless they have a really good race. So I'm not really interested in them right now. I am interested in them from like the next race onwards, but even if they look good points-wise, I don't think it's the race to buy them, personally. I think you could definitely be differential and go for Mercedes. I don't think it's a bad option, it's just not for me. I have not seen anything on that, so if you have seen it, please tweet it at me, James. If you have any confirmation on that. I'm currently not listening to any broadcast with the sound on that is mentioning anything. So if you guys have that confirmed, please tweet it at me. I have my Twitter in the description. I just want to say that I just saw a little spike up to 500 people. I've never had 500 people in the live stream at the same time on YouTube. So that is Rain Fantasy history right now. We're on 4.99 right now. Tell your friends to get in here. I saw the spike. I saw the 5. I did see it. Okay, we've been at 505. That's insane. Still only 215 likes. You guys are terrible at liking the stream, man. Absolutely useless. Absolutely useless. I do really want to go for Norris this week. That's the thing. But I do think some of the discussions we had earlier in the stream is really, with the entire, getting Lawson out for Hulkenberg. Do we think Hulkenberg is going to outscore Liam Lawson this week? Not necessarily. And Matt said this a while ago. I just scrolled all the way back up in chat. You're taking out a ricer for another ricer. Just do option 3. And I do kind of agree with him. I know a lot of you and I mean a lot of you, that is not what I wanted to open. A lot of you spammed option 1. But, like, if we do option 1, right, ponder we do option 1, and both Lawson and Hulkenberg, like, increase 0.6, right? Terrible 0. Right. If both Lawson and Hulkenberg increase 0.6, what was the point of making this transfer? And then I'm down a transfer for next week. So the only reason to actually do this is if we think that Lawson will not increase. Four points. Okay. Everyone, do you think Lawson will get 4 or more points this week? Yes or no? I think yes. Your first transfer would likely be Lawson to Hulkenberg anyway, though. Next week. Why? I could do Lawson to Alonso. You want to bring him in next week again? Sure. Like, he's definitely an option for next week. But next week, Alonso will also be an option at 4.5 million. So I could. There is a world. Okay. If I don't get Hulkenberg this week, I don't think I'm buying him at all next week, because I've already missed out on the price increase, and I just say I don't want the Hulkenberg 1.2 million. I'm gonna go for something else, aka keep an extra transfer and do other moves. I think there's a world where I do that. Lawson minus 25 incoming. That's the thing, right? Watch Hulkenberg or Lawson DNF this race, and it's just terrible. I'm never doing Hadjar to Hulk. I think Hadjar is a better option than Hulkenberg this week. Like, both need to score -6 or more to increase 0.6. Hadjar is actually just straight up better than Hulkenberg. For budget, by the way. Hadjar is literally better than Hulkenberg for budget. There's 1 point here, but, like, he is cheaper, and he's proven in multiple races that he can score multiple points. So, although you are technically correct, Cash Conovan, I would rather keep Hadjar than have Hulkenberg. And if you could only buy either Hulkenberg or Hadjar this week, I would buy Hadjar, 100%. 100%. Alonso over Bortoletto? No, but next week, Jim. Next week. How about triple McLaren Sauber but -10? I don't think it's worth a -10. That's the thing. Like, if I could do... The thing is, I can afford this, right? Let me show you what I can afford. I could do... this. But I don't think this is worth a -10. I think so, yes, Cinemas. Like, there's been so many weeks now in a row where we as F1 fantasy managers have been forced to use an extra transfer. You know what I mean? Like, we've been forced to use either both of our transfers or all 3 of our transfers, or even taking points hits, because there's been so many things we've had to change from race to race. We bought Gasly at the wrong time, needed to get him out. We bought Alonso at the wrong time, needed to get him out. There's been so many of these moves in the past 3 races that if we can... You never know with these point swings and with these budget swings when you will need 3 transfers. Because let's say I have this team right here, and Hulkenberg, Hadjar, and Lawson DNF. You're gonna want to sell literally all of them. And that could happen, right? That is not some impossible scenario. And even worse so if, like, something like your Piastri assets DNFs. Like, if Piastri has 1 DNF, granted, Piastri has not DNF'd in a long time in F1. I think he has the 3rd longest streak in F1 ever, with just Max Verstappen and Lewis beating him. If Piastri DNFs, we will want to sell him. It's as simple as that. 514 people in chats. Holy. First time ever beating 500 viewers. So proud, man. It's amazing. Thank you to all of you, really, for being here and choosing to spend your Saturday with me. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do so. I know it's really annoying to hear YouTubers say it all the time, but it actually matters a lot for way more things than you could imagine. And if you don't like seeing my videos in your feed, you can always unsubscribe after a week. Just, try it, right? And also, if you haven't liked the stream, we're at 245 likes, meaning that, like, half the people who are watching right now have not liked the stream. So do so, please. That lets YouTube know that the people who are watching enjoy the stream, and they will push it to more people. I do this entirely in my free time, so full-time work and streaming, it's tough sometimes, but it is fun, and I really enjoy being here. So thank you so much for choosing to be with me this Saturday evening. And if you want your team rated, make sure to join the Discord channel, link down in the description below. We'll do team submissions in 9 minutes time, so top of the hour as always. So team submissions, top of the hour. We'll go through, look at a few of them, and as always, since there's a lot of new people here, I would imagine, with how many people we have in chat currently, I just want to say that if your team does not get rated, it's not because I hate you, it's because I'd rather spend like 5 minutes discussing 5 teams than just say yes or no to 50 teams, right? I think if your team looks in any way, shape, or form similar to any of the other teams that I will be reviewing, try and use that tip and apply it to your team, because I think there's way more to gain listening from listening to a wider discussion on the game than me just telling you what to do, because I don't think you want to hear that. The game is fun. We want to make our own decisions. Speaking of our own decisions, I'm not anywhere close to deciding what I want to do this week. Alright, that was my YouTube spiel. Sorry, I haven't had dinner. I worked all day. Gotta get that streamer food down. Ugh. So, I don't know what to do. I really want to go for the Norris train. I think Norris could be the one this week, but I also want to jump on the Hulkenberg train, I feel like if I go for Norris now, I kind of miss out on the Hulkenberg train. And I don't want to miss out on the Hulkenberg train. And if it's not just a one-time off, if he can do, like, even half of what he did last week, that'd be insane. So, will you go for points or budgets? I will keep prioritizing budget for now. Like, not prioritizing budget in that I'm, rushing to buy kick or VCarb. I'm doing sort of a middle ground. But in terms of the cheap assets that I buy, if I were to go for purely points this week, I would really like to get someone like a Carlos Sainz in. But because he doesn't look great for budget, I'm going to hold off on that and go for someone like a Hulkenberg instead. I think at least until, we're pretty close. And I know some people, because I did see someone asked what to do with 119 million, right? I'm on 114 million. If you're 119 million, like, you can afford... Well, let me go into this. Yeah, if you have 114 million, and we're going to go for points here, and, not have anything of this, you can afford McLaren, Mercedes, Piastri, Russell, and still have decent assets here. And if you're even richer than that, say you have like 122 million, which is I've seen one person have that much. You don't even need that much realistically. At just 120 million, like, you can have Russell, Mercedes, McLaren, Piastri, Hadjar, Lawson, Bortoletto. And I want you to look at the projected points here. Projected points for that is 210. My team that I have currently projected 185. And these expected points are usually closer than what the end result ends up being. So the end result is usually a larger gap than what this is, because this simulates multiple times and, makes some sort of average. We don't know, but make sure you spam me when that happens. Like, when you can go to this team and still be happy with the budget that you're also getting from this team, God, you will be so far ahead. Do you not have enough transfer for Norris and Hulk? No. I don't have enough budgets. That's the thing. And I want to make it super clear that if you have this exact team, and you can do this, and this, to this, and this, you do it. That is the correct, objectively correct decision this week. The reason why I'm sitting in a difficult position is because I'm 0.8 million short. So, right now, if you're watching and you can have literally this exact team with Nico Hulkenberg in there, and you can do it for free without taking a points hit, you do so. If it's a points hit, it depends on what your team was previously, obviously. If your previous team was like Alex Albon, who has the, Alex Albon, Fernando Alonso, and, I don't know, Kimi Antonelli, right? Then obviously you do it. But, like, if it's like -10 to get to this, it depends, right? How risky you want to play it. But I wish I could get this team. What's your team budget? Okay, everyone put your team budget in chat. Let's get a little calculus of what's going. I have 114.4 million. $117.7. You have the line. No, it isn't worth the extra transfer and risking budgets. I think he is if you. I think he is if you can afford it for free. I actually do. Damn, Joshua. Something is wrong then, because you physically can't. Do you have a Red Bull instead of Ferrari? Again, it's Lando here. Hadjar, Lawson, Colapinto. Well, you have more than 114.4 then. Well, if you do this, you will see like what, you know, your total budget. We don't know when the FP3 sims will get released, but we do suspect that they will. Oops. Let's see. Yeah, Writer just said expecting FP3 sims to be helpful, and he has not posted since, I don't think. Analysis chat. Let's see. Yeah, we're just waiting. Carlos, what's up? 2 transfers, you want Hulk and Lawson. Should I do Sainz to Hulk and Bortoletto to Lawson, or Colapinto to Lawson? The Bortoletto or Colapinto transfer is really bugging everyone, I think. And truly, I have not decided. I think I would keep Colapinto. Just because he looks more likely to increase. I want to know what happened to Thalassa. McLaren plus Ferrari, Norris, Hulkenberg, Hadjar. Well, you don't have Lawson, Thalassa. You don't have Lawson. That's the difference. You have Colapinto and Bortoletto. I'm selling it. I'm selling one of them for Hulkenberg. That's the difference. You have no Lawson in there. I think that I think the best, objectively best team to get this week for both budget and points, like a good mix, is this. Yes, you're missing Lawson. You're running an extra 4.5 instead. What was Colovan's? 59th in the world. Woo! And looking for differentials. Going Hadger to Hulk. 3 transfers next week will also allow me to final fix to the point so there might let me climb some spots. Hadger over Hulk doesn't matter. I think I disagree. I prefer Hadger over Hulkenberg. I truly don't see. I'm talking to the 59th guy in the world, which is insane. I'm like 9,000 in the world or something like that. But I personally believe that Hadjar is just straight up better than Hulkenberg. Sorry, I slammed that pizza too fast. Hi Rain, I have signs. Do I take him out? I think, unfortunately, yes, but it's not a must. But you would really like him to pick up like a 14-pointer to really be worth it this week. Who do you take out for Hulk, Colapinto or Bortoletto? I think I'm taking out Bortoletto for Hulkenberg if I'm doing it. But it's very close, and if you trust Bortoletto more than Colapinto, I don't blame you. But I think it's very close. Ferrari or Merc? I prefer Ferrari here. Leclerc looks decent, and I think Ferrari and Mercedes look very equal in terms of potential for points this week. It's just that Mercedes is probably going to drop in price. Norris and change Ferrari for Racing Bull. I don't even think I can do that. I think I looked at this before. Yeah, not with a 4.5 million driver removed. I would have to do, like, Lawson. No, even then I can't do it. I'm too poor. I'm too poor. Yeah, can't afford. Whoops. Oh, maybe you mean doing this. But the thing is, like, here... Okay, if I do just this... Like, why am I selling... Like, why am I even selling Ferrari here? I have 18.3 million in the bank. I would also like to get Hulkenberg here, and then I'm starting to take minus points hits. Limitless if you're running the meta. I think you limitless if you have the meta plus Hulkenberg. Like, if you had Hulkenberg from last week... If this is your team, I mean, that's a great limitless. No negative for this week? I think not. I am a firm believer, and I'm going to stand by that stance, that no negative is always optimal in a rainy sprint weekend. Is Norris Hulkenberg worth minus 10? Depends on what you had before. Colapinto to Alonso worth the points versus price rise? No, because next week you can do that for free and gain budget from it. So I don't think it's worth going for. If you're already on Alonso, I think you definitely keep Alonso because there's no reason to sell him. But if you currently have Colapinto or Bortoletto, don't buy Alonso this week. Just buy Alonso next week and you've made money on it, probably. Lawson or Hulkenberg? I prefer Hulkenberg here. Alright, it's time for some... team submissions, but is this current team meta? Yes, this is probably gonna be the meta this week. Norris over Piastri. If you can afford it, yes. With also getting Hulkenberg in. Again, if you could have literally this exact team, you know, swap Bortoletto out for any 4.5 million asset. I don't care if it's Bortoletto, Colapinto, or Alonso, really. If you could have this exact team with Norris in there, I'm 0.8 million short. This would be probably my favorite team this week to run. Before we do, I did say we were going to do top of the hour. I'm going to deviate slightly because I do want to do the quick driver tier list before we do the team submissions. See this as part of the team submission sort of ritual, I suppose, because if I haven't shown you the tier lists, then, you know, I can't really... I feel like we need the tier list to reference back to it when we look at certain teams in the team submissions portion of the stream. So let me quickly get the tier list up. And we'll slam through it pretty quickly, like usual. We're not going to spend too much time on it. I do think it's relatively self-explanatory. Let's see, zoom in there. This, for some reason, is broken, which is really annoying. There we go. And then just bring this over here. Perfect. All right. So this was the last week's tier list. Let's jumble them all back up over here. And let's quickly distribute them accordingly. I don't know why I have an S minus here. I think it's because I didn't think anything was truly S tier, but I do think so now. Let's see. All right. I mean, we'll start with Kimi Antonelli. I think there's no reason to have Kimi Antonelli currently. Call me crazy, but I think Kimi Antonelli is a must-sell this week if you have him. I think Colapinto, all of these cheap assets, Colapinto and Bortoleto are both A tier. I think Alonso is also A tier. I just don't think it's worth buying him this week for a sideways move, you know. These 4.5 million assets are always going to be A tier for this. Then we have, I think Sainz looks really good for points this week. But because he needs like a 14-pointer to even increase in price, you do fall behind if you have Sainz over someone like a, you know, Hadjar, who is clearly S tier. Even though I think Sainz is really good, I just think because he is that much more expensive and not guaranteed to increase in price, I would prefer having someone like a Hadjar over him. Granted, I don't think Sainz is bad this week, which is why he's B tier. Hulkenberg is also S this week. That price that he got, or that score that he got last week, if he can replicate even like a third of that, it would be an amazing haul for him. He looks completely set to increase in price twice in a row, bar a DNF, you know. I think Piastri is really interesting. We're gonna do Piastri last. I also think Liam Lawson is also S tier this week. Like, these three assets are just so good this week for both points. That's the thing. They're not just good for budget, they're also good for points. That's what's so broken about them. Right? Because you have Liam Lawson and Isaac Hadjar are in a V-carb that is really fast. That's actually good. Hulkenberg got those new upgrades and suddenly, like, he was moving around. Overtaking people for fun. So, yeah, I just think all three of these assets are really good this week, and I would love to have all three, which is why, like, I would need a Piastri on my team. Let's do Alex Albon, DNF'd last week. He did, right? Yeah, that was last weekend. Albon, because of that, is he must sell? Is he must sell? Spinning FP3, I don't think that's too much of an issue, right? Is Albon F or C here? Albon is the worst cheap driver for budget this week. But for points, I mean, it's always a Williams, I suppose. I think Albon is must sell this week because of the DNF. You can buy him back later when he looks good for points again. All DNFs are must sell always. I agree. Frankly, I agree. It's annoying, but like that's just how it is. That's just the game we're playing this season. Gasly then is really interesting because this week he's terrible, but next week he's really good. But he is a sell this week, though I do think Gasly could be good again next week. But yeah, he seems to be on a downwards 0.6 million spiral throughout the entire season. Ollie Behrman, I think similar to Sainz, is just B tier. He's just decent. I think Ocon is also there. Too expensive. Like, you would rather have these three up here. Lance Stroll, yeah. I mean, no. I forgot. Yeah, Lance Stroll is gone. And then we have all of these assets. Yuki, like 32 points. I mean, that might as well be a DNF, you know? I think it's just such a clear drop-off here. They're not even C. As for these assets, I don't know where to put them. I think Norris is Piastri S? I don't think any of these premiums are S tier. There's not one that's like, you must have these assets. That's kind of what S tier is. Like, S tier is if you can buy this asset, you should buy this asset. And I do think these are here. I think both of these are probably A. That's the thing, like, S tier is like the asset that this week should be top of your shopping list. You should look to buy these assets. And I do think Norris is not like Piastri. Switching Piastri to Norris is a luxury transfer, which you could do, but like Russell should be S this week. I disagree. I think he's solidly A tier. I think Leclerc also probably A tier. I think Max is probably B, and I think Hamilton is probably the only C tier driver. Because like, is Hamilton that bad? No, but is he that good? No. I think this is probably the tier list. If you transfer Norris in, you'll just transfer back to Piastri 1 or 2 races from now. Probably. You are not wrong. Max will punish this list. I look forward to it. So go Piastri then with S tier. I don't think Piastri's must have this week. I think Piastri has been S tier this entire season, and I think this race is like the one race to maybe sell him if you want to be different. Which is why I think there's a bunch of options you could, you know, tangibly go for. Rain, what if I get all the budget rises this week and limitless next week? You could definitely do that. Doesn't look that bad. Norris is not an S tier? No, because Norris is not a must buy. You could keep Piastri and it's totally fine. If Norris wins and Piastri gets P3 and Norris doesn't sweep like driver of the day and fastest lap, the points difference between them is not going to be that great. It's going to be like 15 points at most. And in that case, like, it's not a must buy. That's the thing. S tier is must buy. A tier is like, oh, you could definitely buy these assets. Alonso's been looking very strong lately too. Yeah, if Alonso didn't have that DNF from Monaco, he would also be S tier. But like, Alonso this week is just wait, don't buy him this week, but next week you probably want him. Like, looking forward to next week, I know, unless Alonso DNFs this weekend, I know I'm probably going to want to buy Alonso in Austria with one of my transfers. Either just doing Colapinto or Bortoleto to Alonso or anything else to Alonso. This is a really interesting comment. Motion says, I want to make the same team as you with Racing Bulls instead of Ferrari. Is it worth using the unlimited changes for 4 swaps? I think if you're doing 4 swaps, I think you might as well go crazy with wildcard. Alright. Limitless this week, good timing. If you had Hulkenberg last week, and like, if you had Hulkenberg, Hadjar, Lawson from last week, plus a 4.5, like, yes. Limitless looks really good. Alright. I think that's the tier list, though. Let's go over to everyone's favorite segment, the team submissions. Let's switch the music. We've been listening to this on repeat for like an hour. I haven't even noticed it. All right. So, let's go to the members team submissions first. As always, members of the channel are here on YouTube, and in the future also on Twitch, once we get that going. We will sorry. Yeah, once we get Twitch up and running with affiliates, we will have this on Twitch as well. But for now, team members on YouTube get priority during team submissions. So we'll look at Fraser's here, and then we'll move on to the others. I also see on Twitch, Rye says, "So my name on Discord, you still haven't answered my question. I will look at that in a second." I usually don't look too much on DMs on Discord, so that's probably why I missed it. I saw it now, but I'll look at that later, Rye. Sorry for missing that, by the way. But yeah, I'm usually not on Discord DMs too much. Fraser says 190.4 million global rank, 1,846. We're looking at a real top dog of the game right here. Only making one swap this week. Gonna swap in Hulk, but can't decide whether it's for Lawson or Colapinto. You and me. Actually, Lawson or Colapinto. Colapinto struggling with rear in FP and looks like to spin out in race, and Lawson overdriving. He could have DNF'd 3 times in Spain. I think you get Colapinto out for Hulkenberg. Personally. I mean, Lawson 4 points seems relatively simple. Very tempted with no negative, even though it's not a sprint. I'm expecting carnage. Thoughts? I see the appeal of no negative, but I'm gonna stand firm that I believe that no negative is best in a sprint. So, yeah, by the way, for those of you who are in Twitch chat, which is like 7 of you, right? Because there's 460 on YouTube, I have to like prioritize YouTube. And as soon as I get a third monitor, I will have both chats open at the same time. But I literally cannot physically do that. So I have to switch between multiple chats because I only have 2 screens. Yes, I have done F1 Predicts, Marianne. I did it like 20 minutes into the stream, I believe. Or 20-ish minutes into the stream. Maybe 25. Do you watch Potter later for quality? Yes, but only on the Twitch side. So, the watch-along is always on Twitch. But we will be live here on YouTube until the deadline. Let's go over to the team submissions. Thank you so much for your support, Fraser. We will look at team submissions here. We will probably start with Abhijit up here. Will this work? All best budget boys are covered. Just one concern, Ferrari. Yeah, this team looks insane if not McLaren was that dominant. Bro, FP3 sims are out. Okay, we'll get back to team submissions in a second. But yeah, this... If McLaren stop being super dominant and actually start losing a couple of races, goddamn, this team is going to be insane. Would you pick Norris instead of Piastri or save a transfer for next week? That's the question we're all asking. Yeah, Sims. Yeah, we're going. Sims, we're going. I know. Sims. Everyone say thank you, Ryther. Thank you, Ryther. Hold on. Wait. Everyone spam thank you. Thank you, Ryther. Thank you. Without him, we would not be having any of these things. So let's look at team calculator for my team 1 based on post FP3. Okay, what do we have here? 4 points. They really like Williams, which is good to know. Yeah, thank you, Ryther. Thank you. I'll send this to him later. Not that I know him, but you know. I'll put this in the I'll put this in the F1 Fantasy Tools Discord later. So make sure you tell him thank you, because without him we would all be lost lambs heading towards the slaughter. I think it's really interesting how Williams are super favored in terms of points. But obviously they're not good for budget like either of them. Should I keep Sainz there for points? I think yes is the answer for points. Key for points. But he is predicting still, even with Sainz being good for points here, that he will drop in price. Same with Albon. So, do you want to get Sainz's decent point score now? Or do you want to gain some budget so that you can much faster get to this team? We go back to the team submissions. Because like... when we can get 2 premiums and 2... just imagine this Mercedes asset was a McLaren real quick. How beautiful this would be. You know? So... yeah. I think this team... either if McLaren aren't dominant anymore, or once you have enough money to actually afford McLaren in here, will be the meta. And I know for a fact that there are some people right now who can afford, like... McLaren, Piastri, McLaren, Russell, Mercedes can afford that right now for this race. So I know budget doesn't seem super important right now because you can afford, or you can pretty much afford all the assets that you want. But goddamn, Yeah, FP3 teams are up. I'm aware. We're doing them now. Alonso also favored for points, which is really interesting. So, F1 Fantasy Tools for points, I actually think I should do Colapinto and Bortoleto to Sainz and Alonso, and I definitely see how that came to be, you know? Now, will I do that? Very unlikely. Let's look at budget, but still have McLaren and Ferrari in here. Interesting. No, this is, yeah. Total cost. Okay, here we go. Expected price change. That makes sense. So, F1 Fantasy Tools think that I should literally just get Hulkenberg in for Bortoleto. That's it. What is the Norris versus Piastri expected points here? 30 versus 26.8. What was the FP2? I mean, they've lowered Piastri by a quite significant margin, like 3 points predicted here. You meant wildcard for 4 transfers, not limitless? I think wildcard is always worth it if you want it for your team. Like, wildcard is very independent. Wildcard is very team dependent. For like your specific team. So you could wildcard in literally any race in the season. All right. I am tempted to go for the Norris, I will say. But just because of the fact that, like, we've seen what you can do with 119 million. Let's go back to 120 million here. And sort for points. Remove Ferrari from the equation here. Okay, it's, let's see. $120 million. Okay, it still thinks Ferrari. What's the Mercedes score here, actually? I guess it's just really liking the Williams drivers here. Yeah. It's preferring Albon and Sainz over getting Russell in, which is interesting. But the fact that you could afford this with 119.9 million, I'm probably going to want this pretty soon, I think. But this has massively gone down since the FP2 sims, I will say. This was like 220 points before. So Russell and Mercedes has definitely dropped in this sim. I just don't know if I trust Oscar here. Same, honestly, but like, how much, what choice do I have, realistically? Because I don't think I'm selling Lawson to Hulkenberg. It's a difficult one. Alright, let's go back to team submissions. Tell us. Cost cap 108.7, lost race 207 points. First pick is current team. 0.3 million short of just swapping Hulkenberg for Colapinto or Bortoleto. That's a difficult one. And I know a lot of you are in that situation. Like, what do you do then? So, if this is your current team, you are short of getting Hulkenberg in. I think the options you have on this budget, very limited. Though you do have 3 free transfers, so if you want to focus on your budget build, what you can do is go without Ferrari here and go for like a V-Carb or a Kick Sauber, and that would give you budget to upgrade like Colapinto to one driver and to like Hulkenberg and then Bortoleto to something else. So you could do that, but if you want to keep the McLaren Ferrari, which I think still is the best option, the simple answer for 1.8 million is probably just to get Hulkenberg over Lawson and call it a day, save transfer for the next race. But it's difficult when you can't afford to make that simple upgrade. Yeah, this is the racing balls I was talking about. I definitely think this is an option for sure. If you could definitely take the bet on Sainz here. If Sainz does get that 14 pointer this race, looks really good, and also the Norris. But then you're making 4 transfers here, so if you could do this without taking the 4 transfers, I guess that looks really good. But I guess this is this then, right? 10.5 million in the bank is annoying to leave, obviously, but it's an option. I think you're toying a lot with getting rid of Ferrari here in like all of these options, right? I think you should consider just doing Lawson to Hulkenberg and not think about it too much further, right? Why not sell Lawson for Hulk? Because Lawson, if both Lawson and Hulkenberg increase 0.6 million, like what reason did we make that transfer? Is it not just better to save a transfer here? It's different in this case because this person has Telos has budget to spare or transfers to spare, right? He can't do Bortoleto or Colapinto up to Hulkenberg, so he's just going to do Lawson to Hulkenberg, and I think that's a fine move because you have moves to make. You have free transfers to waste essentially. Whereas in my case, if I'm doing Piastri up to Norris and then Lawson to Hulkenberg, like, is it not just better for me to save that extra transfer instead of doing Lawson to Hulkenberg if we expect both of them to rise in price? Now, granted, tell us. I think if you want to go for the V-Carb build, I think that's a definitely reasonable build, and it's probably, it's probably something like this, right? Or maybe you do the Norris variant. Probably Norris variant if you want to be different. I think if you're going for the Racing Bulls option, you should probably do Norris just because you have the budget, and at least then you can be differential enough to maybe gain some ground on those of or everyone with Ferrari. All right, let's scroll down slightly here. First, current team. Again, a lot of people with the current team. I think Sainz, not must sell, but definitely an option to sell this week. And I think, this team is just insane. What's your budget's insane, by the way, Simples. It's just this. Oh no, this. Sorry, I'm stupid. This is not the Norris variant. Yeah, I mean this is super free to just do this, right? Lawson Hulkenberg again. You have 3 free transfers as well, so you have 2 free. I would just do this and not think about it too much. Like, actually, you get both the best 2 assets for gaining price this week. I can move on from there. Would you sell Colapinto or Bortoleto for Hulkenberg? If I had to sell Colapinto or Bortoleto, I would personally sell Bortoleto, I think, but it's very close. Very close. Salima, a permanent member of the stream, I believe. Current Team 2 transfers. Okay, we're on Team 2 here. Piastri, Bortoleto, Lawson, Colapinto. Again, a lot of meta here. We're gonna just quickly... Yeah, I mean, it's Hulkenberg. I don't think Mercedes is worth it, especially not with the FP3 sims. So I'm going to say no to the Mercedes options and just say the possibility 1 is probably just the best here, which is very meta. We have more meta teams here, I think. Very interestingly here with Sainz and Alonso. I think if you have Alonso, you keep Alonso. There's no reason to sell him. There's also no reason to buy him this week. You can just buy him next week, and I think I will buy him next week, very likely. With Sainz in there, Sainz you could keep if you want to bet on him getting like a 14-pointer, but it's way safer to just sell Sainz for Nico Hulkenberg. You're selling him for Colapinto and Norris in here. I think that's also fine, but Sainz to Hulkenberg is also decent. But if you want Norris, this is probably the way to do it. I don't know if it's worth to switch to Norris if you cannot afford Hulkenberg, but I'm also considering it. Yep, that's the boat we are all in. We've seen a lot of very similar teams here with a lot of Hulkenbergs, a lot of Norrises. Again, this is the GO team. You have the GO team. You have Norris, you have Hadjar, Lawson, Hulkenberg, and then one of the 4.5s. You have Ferrari and McLaren. Just do it. This is the GO team. I want everyone to remember this is the GO team. If you can afford this exact team, you do it. Anything else, and we're gonna have a conversation. You have to sell Williams for 415 Racing. Apart from that, you have options, right? You're in a difficult situation. Possible final fix for pole sitter? Maybe that's the play, huh? With only 2 free transfers. This is difficult. Yeah, I think Williams has got to go. Probably. Actually, maybe they can get decent points this week. Who knows? If Williams look fast. I think it's a difficult situation to be in, though. I don't know what to do. I don't even know what I would do in this situation. More meta. Looks good. I mean, team looks good. What can I say? Here we have some stuff. I really like this. Piastri, Norris, McLaren, Racing Bulls. I've been waiting to see a team like this. You have Hadjar, the most important thing. You have Alonso and Bortoleto. If I could switch to this team, I would consider it. Obviously, no Hulkenberg, no Lawson is annoying, but I think this team looks good, man, and it could definitely pop off if Norris or Piastri, if McLaren puts it on a double podium again. Dringle says, when is good time to use 3X DRS? The 3X chip has to be used in a sprint weekend. There's literally no other option, and you have to use it in the sprint weekend. Sprint weekend. I cannot speak for the life of me. You have to use it in the sprint weekend where you have 2 premium drivers. That's the thing. Last time you were so certain the best setup was Australia. Feels like a jinx. I'm not gonna call it that much, Max. Okay. In Australia, I said that there were many different viable options to go for. I wasn't certain. I was just certain on one structure, which in the end ended up not being that bad. It's just that having rookies in a rainy Australian race was a bad idea. But I did specify, like, my literal team of the week. I'm gonna set the record straight here, Max. My team of the week. No, my team of the week. What am I doing? My tip of the week. My tip of the week in Australia was make 3 teams, because there are multiple ways you can play the game. So I'm not gonna say that I was certain on the best team. I was just certain on which team I wanted to have. Now, granted, that was wrong, but let's see. I don't think there's too much difference here. Red Bull Racing, first one I've seen today. You picked 3 DNFs to predict. Let's predict who will DNF. I'm gonna predict Lance Stroll. I'm gonna predict one driver that everyone has, like Lawson. I don't know. It's guesswork at this point. Your heart can't take with Lawson and team. No, I hope he wins it. That's so funny. 25 minutes until team lock. Yeah. A lot of very similar teams this week. So I'll be rolling transfer, getting Hulkenberg in. I mean, I'm getting Hulkenberg in if I'm. The real question is whether I'm getting Norris in. That's the real question, and I still don't know. Have you decided on your team? No, but I've narrowed it down to a few options. So I'm actually gonna start a poll right now. Alright, we're gonna do a series of polls because I need some answers. I need some help. First poll. Jumping ship from Piastri to Norris. Yes or no? Simple question. And while you guys answer that poll, top of the description is my Twitch channel. If you want to watch the qualifying with me, you do so over there. The reason for that is because, no hard feelings, you guys want to go and watch the qualifying elsewhere. That makes sense. The problem with that is YouTube, the YouTube algorithm really hates when people leave the stream on max. So when like 80% of the stream's viewers leave to go watch qualifying, that absolutely kills the stream and kills the metrics in the YouTube algorithm's eyes. So that's why I'm no longer doing watch-alongs on YouTube after the deadline stream, because the deadline stream is hyped. There's a lot of people here, and then, that's just gone. So that's really unfortunate, and I don't want the stream and like the channel to suffer because I want to do something that's fun. So that's why we're doing the watch-alongs over on Twitch. So top of the description, you can head over to Twitch. I will stay live there and watch the qualifying with you guys. A bit more chill, a bit more, laid back. So if you want to watch the qualifying with me or just watch my reaction to the qualifying, that will be over on Twitch, top of the description. But I will be live on YouTube until the deadline ends. Celtic asks on Twitch, when can I sub? Sad face. Soon. I just need to stream a few more times, but we're soon. Probably next month. I'm gonna call it now that next month we will have subscriptions active on Twitch. So I'm gonna say maybe for Silverstone. Maybe for Silverstone. Celtic says, I want to be the first. I appreciate that, Celtic. I will personally message you on Discord when I get it active so you can be first, okay? I like the commitment. I like the commitment. Daniel says, I need help, mate. -10 in both Norris and Mercedes for Piastri and Ferrari. Oscar scares me here. I don't think Oscar should scare you. If Norris wins and Piastri gets P3 and you have Piastri, that's still fine. Okay? I don't know if it's worth a -10. Also know that Mercedes is likely dropping price. And Mercedes look worse than Ferrari in the FP3 sims. Lawson or Bortoleto? I prefer Lawson this week. I have the... let me show you the... here's the tier list for this week. So, I think these 3 assets are top. All of these premium assets are good. These cheap assets are always good. And then you have these right here. I think this is my tier list. In this order as well, probably. I mean, you can't really compare like Norris to Colapinto. They're 2 very different assets, but... So, consider it in, you know, these 4 are in the correct order and these 3 are in the correct order of what I prefer them. Alright. Piastri will win. That'd be awesome if you have him. Cal says Leclerc or Piastri. Also, hi, new to the stream. Welcome, Cal, to the stream. I'm super happy to have you here. As for your question, I think if you have Ferrari as a constructor, I don't think you need to double up and get Leclerc. And I assume you're probably on Piastri currently. I wouldn't make the transfer to Leclerc. I would rather save a transfer, in my opinion. So is Sainz a hold? Only have 2 transfers. Sainz could be a hold. Just know that, like, you kind of need him to go nuclear to be worth it budget-wise. But, like, Sainz could get a 9-pointer and then be a really good pick next week. So I don't think Sainz is bad. Sainz, it's just he's B tier, right? He looks fast. F1 Fantasy prefer him in terms of getting points this week. But he does need to score, like, 14 points to increase in price. Yeah, he needs a 14-pointer to increase 0.2 billion. So, you need Sainz to, like, actually have an amazing race and probably finish, like, P6 or P7. But the main thing here is this week is to just buy Hulkenberg. Alright, I think I have, we have 59% of you say no to jumping ship, 58% jumping ship. Sorry for the the unintended swear word right there. We're gonna do one more Q&A. One more poll. Buy Hulk. Sell who? So who do you sell for Hulkenberg if you have the option? Colapinto or Bortoleto? Sell which South American rookie? Here we go. This is the poll. This is my final poll for the stream. I really want to know what you guys think of this one because I do think it's very close. And frankly, I'm not 100% decided yet. But just for budget reason, personally, I think I sell Bortoleto. But I'm also scared that Colapinto is going to DNF. I think if I had to predict on... If you traveled to me right now from the future and told me one of Colapinto and Bortoleto DNF'd, I would probably guess Colapinto. But Colapinto needs less points to increase in price. You know? Frogman says Colapinto's gonna crash. There you go. I think it's very close. But I do think that there's a slightly higher DNF risk on Colapinto. His race pace was good in Spain. I'm hoping Bortoleto can replicate something what Hulkenberg did. I think Colapinto, since Colapinto is already spinning into practice 2, he's not gonna take too many risks and will just chill at the back. Colapinto scares me more. I agree. Colapinto does scare me more, but I think it's very close still. Why not put Alonso in that poll? I have all three with Hadra hit, can't decide. Because if you have Alonso, you do him. Right? If you have all three 4.5 million assets, you sell Alonso always. So the reason why I don't have Alonso in this poll, because one, I don't have Alonso, and two, I think it's a clear choice to just sell Alonso and then just buy him back next week because Alonso's not increasing in price. Whereas, like, I could see a world where Colapinto gets 7 points and Colapinto and Bortoleto both get 7 points, and, you know, Bortoleto increases 0.2 and Colapinto increases 0.6. Yeah, it's just the 0.6 is really enticing for Colapinto, but he does need to get a 6-pointer. Very close poll. Very, very close poll. I think I've decided on something. Again, I want to make it very clear. I'm going to go back to the Discord. This. Johan Cloete? Clote? Sorry for butchering your last name. But you won. Johan. Posted this. This is the GOAT team this week. If you can afford this exact team for free without taking a points hit, you do it. I really think this is an absolute no-brainer of a team. If you can afford this for free without taking a points hit, there's literally no question you do it. Granted, Bortoleto here could be anything. That the same question we just did with Bortoleto, Colapinto. Bortoleto, Colapinto, Alonso, 4.5 million, I don't care. But if you can have Norris, Hadjar, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Ferrari, McLaren this week, for free without taking a hit, that is what you do, okay? That is what you do. And in fact, it is time for Tip of the Week. Alright, let's get the hype music. Let's up the music slightly. Because it is Tip of the Week. We didn't hit the goal this week, but we still always do Tip of the Week. It's just if we hit the goal, we do it early. So, if you haven't been here before, if it's your first time in the stream, we always do Tip of the Week. We also just hit 300 likes on the stream. By the way, guys, 525 of you, 536 we peaked on this stream. Insane numbers. We've never been over 500. Thank you so much for showing up week in, week out. Tip of the Week, the most hype segment of this stream, is my tip that always pans out. Apart from that one time. We do not talk about that one time. And it's always in MS Paint, because MS Paint is the GOAT. Rain Fantasy number 1 tip of the week. Give me your team of the week. Team of the week? Why am I so in the, like, the EA Sports, it's in the game mindset? Tip of the week. Tip of the week. My screen is wrong. There we go. Slight technical difficulty. Oh, I'm also, yeah, there we go. I wasn't there. Yeah, whatever. Zoom out your screen. Okay. I was on the camera thing. Don't worry about it. Professional streamer right here. Don't worry about it. Alright, tip of the week predictions. Go, go, go. What is the tip of the week prediction? Holo transfer if you can. Good tip. Not necessary though. Buy Hulkenberg. Good tip. Not necessary though. And in fact, I might have already just baited you with it. And for once, this is going to be the first time ever that I, Rain Fantasy himself, am not going to follow the tip of the week. Why? Because I can't, because I'm poor, okay? This is tip of the week. This right here is tip of the week. Just get... Can I, like, insert an image here? I don't know how this works. Nope. This is tip of the week. If you can afford this team, you get this team, okay? Let me, I did not think this through, but we'll solve it. Here we go. This is tip of the week. Tip of the week. Perfect. Here you go. Get this team. This is tip of the week. I'm not going to follow tip of the week this week because I can't. Just one transfer pair to Hulkenberg. That's it. I am doing that as well. I know this entire stream we're talking about Norris, getting Norris. Thank you so much, by the way, Carlos, for the super chat. Very, very much appreciate it. Why Norris instead of Piastri? Because Piastri has not really delivered in practice, and the last 2 times he did not do that. He did not win the race. So I do think Norris is better than Piastri this week. So if you can afford to get Norris in, I think you should maybe take the bet. The thing is, I cannot afford that if I also want to get Hulkenberg. So for me, I'm gonna sell Colapinto or Bortoleto to Hulkenberg and just stick Piastri in there and hope Piastri still performs. Now, what am I doing? Colapinto or Bortoleto? I think I'm actually gonna take the bet that Colapinto DNFs and go for the double kick. That the kick upgrades entice me, and I just have a feeling that Bortoleto is gonna outperform Colapinto this week. So even though the budget, actually the budget looks better for Colapinto. Oh, this is such a difficult decision. I'm gonna keep Piastri, yes. Why Bortoleto and not Alonso? Because Alonso cannot increase in price. I mean, basically can't, right? Alonso's gonna be really good next week. I mean, is Bortoleto getting 10 points? Okay, I'm talking myself out of it. I was leaning Bortoleto because I was scared Colapinto was gonna DNF. But now I'm super scared that, like, at least 6 points seems fine. Like, Colapinto can hit 6 points. I want that 0.6, man. I really want to get that budget. Yikes, man. Alright, okay. I changed my mind. We're doing Bortoleto out. I've changed my mind. I'm selling Bortoleto out. I've changed my mind. Just because I did this, Colapinto's gonna crash. But I've changed my mind. Both are not gaining, so go for points on Alonso. I think, Lucas, you will be probably incorrect here because, I mean, Colapinto's definitely scoring 2 points. Trust Bortoleto? Ugh. Do you play F1 on DraftKings? No, I don't, Daniels. I'm Argentinian, go with Bortoleto. That's the first time I've ever heard an Argentinian not say to go for Colapinto. I appreciate your non-bias, Lucas. Double Sauber? Man, you guys can't decide. Why not Leclerc instead of Piastri? Because I want to save a transfer, Calvin. You're not worried about DNF? I'm really worried about DNF. That's the only reason. If I wasn't worried about DNF, I would guaranteed keep Colapinto. You guys can actually not make up your mind. Okay, and this is literally the same poll. Pick one. Pick one. Colapinto spun a bunch on FP, Bortoleto didn't. Pick one. Just pick one, guys. It's not that difficult, man. Colapinto's been terrible, mates. I know, which is why which is why I was gonna go for Bortoleto, but then everyone started spamming that I should go for the budget, and now everyone's doing the opposite. 59% still. Okay, this is which one to buy, by the way. Sorry, I should specify that. Or which one to keep. Who is better? Colapinto or Bortoleto? There we go. Who is better? In F1 Fantasy, not like as a person. 50-50. And more people are saying Colapinto, but okay, there's a loud minority in chat spamming Bortoleto here. Because clearly, according to the poll, more people in chat think Colapinto is better. Or you're trolling me. Alonso. I think Alonso's insane next week, but I'm not getting Alonso this week. It's a waste of a transfer for me. None. Both DNF in the end. At least if both DNF, you know I couldn't have avoided it. Colapinto will wreck. Colapinto will DNF. Too much of a bet on double Sauber. Both DNF. I would be fine with both DNFing, I'm going to be honest. I mean, it's Colapinto for budget. I don't think Bortoleto's reaching 10 points. That's the thing. We only have 9 minutes, by the way, till the deadline. I'm cutting it close. I'm cutting it real close here. I think you're very valid in that, Calvin. And that's the sort of data we looked at before. It's just, if I could afford this team, I would. But I can't. And I'd rather go for the budget in Hulkenberg and just keep Piastri and pray. Piastri no podium this week. That's a brave prediction. Alright, hold on. Let me open an incognito window and just go onto the other account and see what I did there, if I actually have done my transfers. I did do my transfers, and in that team... Oh yeah, I went for Norris here. Oh, I'm so silly here. Yeah, okay, so... Screw Ferrari. Ferrari look really good, though. Ferrari look fine. I have no problem with Ferrari. Also, sorry that the music's so loud. I'm screaming. Ferrari look fine. I don't think you need to sell Ferrari. Piastri getting out in Q1, I reckon, for something unlucky. That is an insane prediction. If you get that right, you make a lot of money. That's where we go. Piastri and Norris with kick. Piastri will be on podium. I also think Piastri will be on podium. So Lawson to Hulk instead? No. I prefer Lawson over both Colapinto and Bortoleto, if I'm honest. Alright, 54% of you think Colapinto is better than Bortoleto. It's really close. I think... Who will DNF? Bortoletto's not going to get 10 points, so he's not going to increase. I'm very likely that one of my 3 transfers next week is going to be selling whichever one of these two I keep to Alonso next week anyway. Final team. No, I haven't made my transfer yet, so I don't know. But I'm definitely selling one of them to Hulkenberg. It's just which one of these do I keep? Do I keep Colapinto or do I keep Bortoleto? Is it worth taking -10 to swap Albon and Carlos from Hulk and Lawson? No. Worth -10 to get the same team as you? Depending on what you had before, it depends. -10s always depend on what you had previously. I am really... there's 6 minutes to the deadline and I still haven't decided. Dude, I'm gonna be so pissed when the one I did not buy... Oh, the one that I ended up keeping DNFs and the other one gets a 12-pointer. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, man. I am overthinking it. Ditch them both? No. I'm saving one. I'm doing one of them to Hulkenberg. That's my move this week. I've decided that. But I don't know which one. I just need to make a decision. I have 6 minutes. 5 minutes. Colapinto has the budget upside, but Colapinto also has the downside of probably crashing. Colapinto lower owned. That is also actually a really good point. Alright. Yeah, I think we're doing Colapinto. To be honest, I trust Alonso both to get 15 points, the Bortoleto to get 10. Yeah, but Alonso 15 points is only a plus 0.2 million increase. He needs 20 points to 19 points to increase 0.6. Very little upside to Colapinto. The upside to Colapinto is if he gets 6. Like, I can actually see Colapinto getting 6 points. I don't see Bortoleto getting 10. Okay, I think it's very close. I take 0.4 less for less crash risk. Minus 25 versus 0.3 million. Yeah, I also just see Colapinto in the wall this week. I don't think Colapinto will crash because he's already not confident, so won't push 100%. But do I want someone who's not going to push 100%? Yeah, I mean, okay, that's the thing. The gut is against Colapinto. Logic is for Colapinto. The gut is against it. Final Fix does not need an extra transfer, no. Ditch both, go kick at Norris? No. I need a minus 10. I need to take a minus 10 for that, Yabil, so I'm not going to do it. Trust your gut. Do it. The higher the risk, the higher the reward. Make a decision. I know! I'm sorry, Jake. I'm sorry. Gut is always right. Okay, when Bortoleto crashes, it's 3 minutes to deadline. When Bortoleto crashes and Colapinto gets a 10-pointer, I will cry, but I'm doing Bortoleto. Flip a coin. I can't click continue, man. I'm so scared. Colapinto safer? I disagree. Tip of the week is get this team if you can. If you have the budget for it, you get this team. I don't have the budget for this team. Call out. Colapinto, right? I've never seen the chat fight this much. Never. I've never seen the chat fight this much. I'm keeping Colapinto. I've did it. It's Colapinto. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, that just happened. Okay, it's Colapinto. It's Colapinto. I want the upside of the budget. I take the risk. Colapinto has the yips. Okay, it's fine. Both are gonna DNF. It's fine. Everyone, quick sell Colapinto. Alright, that was brutal. that was okay, I've just done my move. It's your funeral. I have never seen the chat fight this much. I've actually never seen the chat fight this much. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you want to watch the qualifying with me when Colapinto bins it, I will keep streaming over on Twitch. So, whew. Caviar on Twitch said, with Colapinto you got 1 extra transfer next week and has better odds. I mean, I have 1 extra transfer next week, no matter what. So that was not part of it. Wrong decision, he will crash. We'll see. That was brutal. Make sure to join me on Twitch. Top of the description. Top of the YouTube description. Join me on Twitch. We're gonna watch the qualifying together and chill. So I'm gonna end the YouTube stream right as the deadline ends. Thank you so much for watching. Fantastic stream. 2 more likes to get to 325 will definitely be a new record. So if 2 of you who are currently watching, of the 250 people in here, definitely like the stream to make it 325. That would be a crazy number to hit. 500 what? Like 539 people was the peak today. Absolutely crazy. Thank you so much for all the support. These deadline streams are going to continue throughout the rest of the season. We're aiming for 5,000 subscribers, so make sure you do that. I mean, 500 live viewers and 3,000 subs is an insane ratio. Absolutely insane support. 330 likes. Thank you so much, guys. That's insane. I'm gonna sign off on the YouTube side. If you're on the Twitch, don't go anywhere. We'll watch the qualifying together. And if you're on YouTube, join me on the Twitch side, where we're gonna watch the qualifying together. The reason we do this again is because the YouTube algorithm absolutely hates when people leave the stream, and the people naturally leave the stream at the end of the deadline. So Twitch algorithm actually likes people just hanging out for a long amount of time. It doesn't matter how many people are there. So in the spirit of trying to appease the algorithm gods, we will end the stream on the YouTube side. Thank you so much for being here on YouTube every single weekend. It is amazing. It's my favorite part of the week, of the month, to be able to do these streams. So thank you so much for the support. We'll now jump over on the Twitch side and switch view. We're gonna pause the music because it's time to just watch some cars go around in a circle really fast. Yeah, fantastic.